Why doesn't anybody care about drift car interiors? I'm not stripping my drift car interior. I want it to look good and be comfortable. So today on the diesel drift build, we're going to be talking about the interior. And this is one of the key features of this car. You need a good interior to drift good. So we're going to be doing the whole walkthrough of the black interior swap on this car. It was a lot more work than what I was anticipating, but I think it was worth it. I really love it. And now that I look back on videos of this thing with a tan interior, I hate it. But I'm not a tan interior guy. I like my black interiors. To make this as easy as possible, it's best to get a donor car that has the black interior. I did that, and I got a lot of the parts that I needed. I already had a dashboard from another part out, so I had the dashboard that I needed, the glove box that I needed, but I wanted all the little black interior pieces. You have center console, you got your A pillar, your B pillar, all your footwell stuff, the different trims. I wanted all that to be black from the factory if possible. So out of that, for the manual swap as well, I got the pedals out of the donor car that I needed, as well as most of the black interior stuff. That car did have the wrong color seats and door panels, but this car, when I bought it, already had black door panels swapped, and then it had a set of sport seats that I used the black leather rear seat in this swap. One thing that I found out is when it comes to the carpet, I wanted this to be as close to OEM like this car came with the black interior from the factory as possible. And a lot of people with these carpets, they're kind of a pain to pull. BMW puts a lot on top of the carpet, specifically here in the center console and dash area. The entire dash bar is actually on top of the carpet. So a lot of people will cut it around the center console, either not remove the center console or they didn't want to remove the e-brake and the airbag module and the shifter and all these things. Well, I'm taking all that off anyways. I got a handbrake to replace, shifter, and the airbag module is 3 more bolts, so I'm going to pull that off. So with the donor car that I got, I didn't know it at the time, but once I started tearing into it in our other videos, you'll learn that the carpet was cut pretty aggressively in my opinion, so I didn't want to use that carpet. So I ended up going to the junkyard and finding a good condition black carpet, and I spent the time to remove everything to not have to cut it as bad. I was hoping that I could even remove the dash bar, but even for me, that's a lot of work for something that's never ever seen. So instead of cutting the entire center section of the carpet out, I just have a little 6-inch piece that's right underneath the dash that's still tan in this car. Don't tell anybody, please. When I was at the junkyard, I cut it around the bracket for the dash, but then I saved everything in the middle. It's these little tiny things. Most people won't care, but it's my car. I want it to look good, and I want to know that I did the best that I could for it. So, of course, with junkyard carpet, it's going to be dirty. It's going to be filthy. So I had to clean it up before it goes into the drift car. I just ended up dry brushing it and vacuuming it, and this carpet was actually in pretty good shape. So I didn't have to go through and shampoo it like a crazy guy for an interior in a drift car. So once I got the carpet in, I could put the dash in. And like I said, this dash is from another car, black interior. On the original tan interior, the lower half of the dash is painted tan from the factory. So I got rid of that, got the black dash in. It's not as much fun as it sounds. You have to remove the steering wheel for these BMWs to get that off, pull the cluster, radio, all that, pull that out, get the dash back in, and then we're gonna go and change all the panels that we couldn't get black to black, and specifically everything that's from the dash up. So your A pillar trim, your B pillar upper trim, your C pillar, your headliner, along with all of the visors and your different overhead lighting and everything like that. You can get them black from the factory if you find an M Sport, to my knowledge, an M Sport trim. Super hard to find, and when you do, everybody wants top dollar for it. So for much cheaper, I can take the panels that were in this car that were tan, and I can pull off the cloth or go over it and dye it. So that's what I chose to do. So with some Alcantara, I glued the A pillars down with Alcantara, the upper B pillars as well, and the C pillars all got covered in Alcantara. With the headliner, it was already failing in some spots, so we pulled the original tan fabric off, and then all that gross original foam that's actually the failure point, we got all that brushed off, and in preparation for the new Alcantara to go down, which we used headliner adhesive for, worked that down into all the nooks and crannies of the headliner as best as possible, and I think that it came out great. So that goes for the headliner and the upper stuff. Now there was still some black plastic pieces that I couldn't find. A donor car didn't have them, mainly like around the pedal area. There is a plastic panel that goes up there, or in the passenger area up there, and then all of our overhead lighting as well. I wanted that to all be black. So we're going to be prepping that, and then we're going to be painting that with an SEM color coat black paint, very similar to what the OEM would use. We cleaned them really good, scrubbed them down, make sure there's no grease, oils, or anything on them. We're going to use an adhesion promoter on these since they are plastic, and there are some deep nooks and crannies that are really hard to get to for scuffing them or sanding them. We're going to use a promoter, and then we're going to end up painting those with the black color coat. Used a lot more than what I thought, but still came out great. And we got all the little things, even the little airbag covers for the A pillars and C pillars, got that all painted. Even with the upper B pillars, I unplastic welded the seatbelt trim where it goes through that pillar and painted that black, and then re-plastic welded it back together once everything had fabric and was back together. So then once all that's dried for multiple days, we reinstall it all and get this interior fully blacked out, get everything from top to bottom as black. We ended up even smoking the overhead light covers so that you didn't have these wild white lenses just sitting in this nice blacked out headliner. So then we're going to work on a couple other aspects. I am putting a Chase Bays hydro in the OEM location so as to not cut up my center console any more than I need to. And plus, I like the sleek street look. It's the same setup roughly that I have in my Mustang. It's what I'm used to as a pull-up style handbrake. So to do that is quite a bit of work. There is a mount on the market to do this, but I chose to make my own with availability, and I have a welder. I can somewhat fabricate and glue two pieces of metal together, so I figured I can handle it. We're going to make a custom bracket. I got a reinforcement plate from Chase Bays with the hydro, so we're going to use that as the mount. And then I actually cut up a broken e-brake handle from the factory to be able to get the pickup points that go right down to the floor. And there was a lot of trial and error, just fitting, going back and forth. I had to trim a little bit in the storage area of this center console so that the reservoir for the hydro, I can fill that up without having to remove the whole center console. So I did cut a little bit on the inside so that I could get access to that. And then making sure that this hydro and the lines are able to fit around the ducting that goes through this. I want the ducting still to go to the rear. I have rear seats, so if I have people in here, I don't want them getting cold or too warm, uncomfortable, whatever. So that took a lot of finessing to get the hydro to fit around all that. There's not a whole lot of space underneath there, so we were able to get that to fit. I did actually have to kind of heat up and mold the rear vent so that it wasn't pressing against the fitting where the line comes out of the hydro. And even that rear line, as you can see, is super close to that airbag module. So we're working with really tight tolerances to get all this to fit underneath there and go back together like factory and get as much from factory working as possible. So then once we have that all set, we're going to focus on the seats. So in the rear, we have a OEM black leather seat, but up front, I want bucket seats. So we're going to be using these NRG Prismas. This is what I have in other cars. Great seat for the money. I've never had any issues. And we're going to be using Garagistics floor mounts for that as well, so that we can fine tune the exact position, especially of the driver's seat, so that I'm comfortable driving this and then I'm planted in the car. So we're going to get all that set up, make sure that the angles are all good. The passenger seat is comfortable for everybody sitting in that, and get those bolted down. We are using factory black seat belts that we swapped in here. The seatbelt receiver we have to come up with a solution for, because the original E90 seats, that is built into the seat and not something that we can remove and set up for this. So we actually ended up going to the junkyard and getting LCI, because pre-LCI has seatbelt tensioners in the rear seat belts, but in LCI 2009 and newer, they don't have tensioners. So we can just take those seat belts. They have a little bit of length to them, and we can attach those to the garagistic brackets and then be able to use our original front seat belts for ease of getting in and out. I don't see a need to put harnesses in this car yet. We don't have a roll bar, we don't have a roll cage, so I think that factory seat belts will do just fine. Now, in regards to our steering wheel, I am kind of picky when it comes to steering wheels, and there was a lot of different options. There were a few things that were going to happen and then didn't happen. I can't pick out a matching NRG or Nardi or anything that I like to go into this car. So for now, we're going to be running the semi-ugly original steering wheel. It is heated though, so if I ever drive this thing in the cold, my hands will be warm. We're going to be running that for now until later on I find something that I do want, maybe like an M Sport steering wheel if I want to stay factory, or maybe we go with a aftermarket steering wheel and get rid of the airbag. So there's still a lot to finalize with this. We still have to finalize the shifter, its location, the shifter rod as well. I have to finalize the handbrake and the angle of where that's at. Also get the lines made to go all the way out back and get that hooked up to the dual caliper setup in the rear. We still have tuning to do. We still have to finalize the wiring, especially from the pedals to the lighting module and also to the engine computer itself, the DDE. We have to get all that finalized as well. But I can't wait to get this thing out on track. I'm super excited to have a full interior in this. It's going to be comfortable. It's going to be nice on the street. We're going to have working AC. We can roll up the windows, stay comfortable. We can have heat, air conditioning. I want this to be a really nice drift car that I like to drive, that I enjoy to drive, and that can drive to the track if I want it to and be comfortable on the way there and on the way home. So let me know what you guys think about the interior. Do you think it's too much Alcantara? I know the seats are Alcantara, the headliner is now Alcantara. It's a lot, definitely borderline for me. It's right up there to my max. So do you think I could have done more? Do you think I should have done less? Let me know. If you guys like what you see, don't forget to subscribe, like the video. We have other videos on the different aspects of this build as well, and there's more to come as we finalize and get this thing out on track. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.